Well, hello, and welcome to Tackett's House of Horsepower. It's me, Steve Tackett, and today is January 1st, 2024. Can you believe that? It's 2024 already. Wow. Time is literally flying. And did you see the video? We got Down N Dirty running. It runs. It turns key and runs. I have not driven it yet. It needs brakes, bled. It needs seats. It needs taillights. It needs the front wiring harness still. I can't find it. Everywhere's on back order. I think the rear harness, I'm just gonna patch it up and leave it because I've got it, so I might as well try and fix it and use it. What else? I think that's it. But other than that, Happy New Year. Welcome back. Let's see if we can get brakes and stuff going on here. Maybe. All right, let's talk about brakes. Especially let's talk about proportioning valves, because that little guy right there can screw you over pretty good if you're not careful. So let's see. A proportioning valve does just what it says. It proportions the fluid to the front and back. So let's say in a typical system like this, maybe 90%, the brakes in the front do maybe 90% of the work, and the brakes in the rear, they do like 10% of the work. So this thing splits up the fluid for you, okay? Why does it do that? Well, they learned that in a panic stop situation, if you jam on the brake pedal, the car wants to dip forward. So all the weight's on the front tires. So the back tires, there's no weight on the back tires. So if you put the same amount of pressure to the front, to the back tires are gonna lock up right away every time. And then you start sliding around and, you know what I mean, kind of ice skating. So before ABS, they came up with this: dual piston, dual feed lines, a proportioning valve. They put a proportioning valve in the system. So it's going to break up the fluid. Now, it does one more thing as well, and this was what screws a lot of people up. If you're bleeding the brakes, or let's say you replace something. Let's say you replace the wheel cylinders, or you replace a caliper or something like that, okay? And I see this in the forums a lot. Guys will be like, I've been trying to bleed the brakes and I'm not getting any fluid out. I'm not getting anything out of the front. I'm not getting anything out of the rear, or something like that. And here's the problem. Here's what's happening. If you've got a large leak or a large loss of pressure between the front and the rear, let's say you replace the calipers in the front and you got a bunch of air it's trapped in the front and you want to bleed it, okay? Or same thing with the rear. You replace the rear wheel cylinders. Now, there's a lot of air in the system and you want to get rid of the air, so you want to try to bleed it. Well, when you go to step on the pedal, what's going to happen is that proportioning valve is going to feel pressure on the front and none on the back, because there's air wherever you just made your major repair at, wheel cylinders in the back or calipers in the front, something like that. Okay, that's going to cause no pressure to be on the front or no pressure to be on the rear, but maybe you still have pressure on the other side. What happens is that proportioning valve it kind of works like a safety as well. There's like a little valve in there, okay? And if you have pressure on one side, but not on the other side, or vice versa, that valve will snap to the rear or snap to the front, and it will stay there. And what'll happen is it'll only allow pressure to go to the side that is still holding pressure. Does that make sense? So it's so like in case of an emergency, let's say you have a wheel cylinder burst or a brake line burst, okay? And you lose pressure to the rear. That valve will snap shut, close off the rear, and allow you to still have front brakes. So it kind of works like a safety. Now the problem is, what happens when you're trying to bleed the brakes? If you've got air somewhere trapped, then it's gonna cause that valve to shuttle over. It's gonna shuttle to the front or shuttle to the back, and it's gonna cause it to close off, and then you won't be able to bleed the brakes. You'll be trying and nothing will be coming out. And you'll be like, what the hell's wrong? It's gotta be my master cylinder. It's gotta be the proportioning valve. Something's bad. No, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and the valve has closed. So they give you this little tool. If you ever see one of these are important. I'll show you how these work. Okay, right here, this thing's got a little fancy little cap over it. Get this off of here. Okay. This is where your sensor is. That's a little sensor right there. And if you've got an idiot light, a brake light, idiot light on the dash, it's basically the way it works is 12 volts goes to the bulb, and then it comes out of the bulb, and it comes through the firewall, and it connects to that little pin right there in the middle, okay? That pin, all it is a ground. So if that valve shuttles over to the left or to the right, it's gonna make contact with that pin, which is gonna create ground, and it's gonna turn on your idiot light on the dash. Now, I don't have it hooked up. Actually, I could hook it up. Dakota Digital does have an idiot light that I could run 12 volts from there to here. And then if that thing ever shuttles over for any reason, it's gonna turn on the idiot light. But anyways, usually you find it on newer vehicles. This is a 64, so it didn't have this. So anyways, you got that little sensor right there. Now, you wanna take that sensor out. It's got a little hex. It's not in there tight. Just kind of spin that out of there. I'll show you. Okay, let's pop this guy out of here. All right. And you'll see it's just a little, all it is going to be a ground. If you hook this up to an idiot light, like I said, it's just a little plunger. Come on, focus. If that valve shuttling over makes contact with this, why won't it focus? Isn't technology great? Anyways, you have to take my word for it. That just goes straight through and it makes contact with that valve. Inside there, there's a valve down in that hole, which you can't see because my camera situation sucks. But anyways, you get the idea. This little tool has, I really cannot focus on anything. That little pin on it is gonna go down into that groove and it's gonna hold that valve. I wanna hold that valve. I don't want it to move. If that thing moves, it's gonna close off and then you're screwed. You're gonna have a really hard time trying to bleed the brakes. So all this does is screw into that hole and holds it for you. So before you start pumping on it, before you do anything, screw that in, just finger tight. It doesn't have to be super tight or nothing. Finger tight that thing down in that hole. That's gonna hold my valve, keep it open on both sides. Now you can start bleeding. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put some good old-fashioned .3 brake fluid in this thing, and because the entire system is new, everything is new, master cylinder, lines, proportioning valve, calipers, wheel cylinders, all the brake lines, everything is new, everything is dry. So bleeding this thing is going to be a massive pain in the ass. There's no way around it. One of these days I'll get one of those little fancy doodads that hook up to the bleeder screws and it makes a vacuum and it sucks it out for you. But I don't have one. So anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill it and I'm going to crack the bleeder screws loose and just kind of let it gravity bleed at first. See if I can get some fluid down into the system. Bench bleeding the in this case, bench bleeding the master cylinder isn't going to help you much because all the hoses, all the lines, all the proportioning valve, all the lines, all the way, the entire thing is completely empty. So even if you bleed the master cylinder, as soon as you start pumping, you got so much air in the lines and so much air in all the calipers and wheel cylinders that it's just gonna be a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna let this thing start gravity bleeding. While that's working, I want to come back here. I think I'm gonna take a look at these tail lights. Like I said, I don't have a new harness, but this harness looks like it's in pretty good shape. There's no cuts or splices in it all the way to here. These look okay. The wires are kind of stiff, but they're not broken or anything. And then up under here, it's all in good shape, like really good shape. No splices here. I don't really see a problem until I get to this one. And this isn't even the right socket. That's a dual filament socket, and this is a backup light, so it should be a single filament. That's why it's only one wire. So all this can go. Get rid of that. So really all I need is, this one's in good shape. There's no splices. This is the actual dual filament bulb. So I just need one socket, really. One single filament socket, and I can fix this wire. And then I think I can put these taillights together. They're all nasty because they were sitting in the trunk for like 20 years, but I think I can maybe get taillights going on here. Maybe. So I might take a look at that. I've got some old wiring harness. I'm such a pack rat, I swear. Look up here. See that crate? That is full of old wiring harnesses. I can't bring myself to throw them away. But I might have a socket in there somewhere that's in good shape that I could just cut and maybe patch that one in, and then boom, we got brake lights, hopefully. So let me move the green car back and get that thing down, and we'll go digging for some parts. Every once in a while I'm just gonna come up here and I'm gonna sit down and just, can you zoom in? Right there. Now if I pump the pedal, I should be able to see some bubbles. Watch for bubbles. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna let it just kind of, you know what I mean? Oh, there's some in the back. There you go. All right. Just let it kind of do its thing. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. Laugh it up. Laugh all you want. But guess what? I think we're in business. So I think that worked out. That's all Nova harnesses. I wish I had a Chevelle harness in there that I could piece together and make something work, but I don't. It's all 64 and 5 Nova stuff. But I did get what I needed. It looks like it's gonna work. Oh yeah. Beautiful. All right, well, I guess we could put this together. Take a look at that. Fill up a couple holes. Looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like original parts that I found in the trunk and bolted back on. So they're old and cracked, and all the gaskets fell apart, of course. But the wiring tucked back in nice. Basically, everything's good. Only cost me one butt connector. You know what I mean? So there you go. I do have the little trim pieces that go around. I have those, but they're missing the clips on the back, so I can't put those on. And I'm also missing the trunk trim, the pieces that go across there, and the letters. I don't have any of that. I'm missing all that. But anyway, it's sort of looking like a 64 Chevelle. But let's go check on our master cylinder. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, see it dropping down. Dropped down quite a bit. So what I think I'll do is maybe see if Sarah's busy. She can come out here and help me. I need her leg, and we can start bleeding. Maybe we can get some brake pressure out of this. Look, check it out. It's coming out here. It's coming out there. It's coming out up there. And over there too. So all four corners. See it dripping? Yeah. That means we got it on all four corners. We're off to a good start. Okay, I think I'm done gravity bleeding. I got fluid at all four corners. Now I got Sarah here. She can go ahead and jump in it. And we'll start pumping it in. Typically when I pressure bleed it like this, you know, pump, release, you want to start at the furthest corner away from the master cylinder and work your way closer to the master cylinder. So I'm gonna start in the back corner, and then I'm gonna hit this corner, and then we'll do the fronts. So yeah, it should be pretty close. I got fluid at all four corners just by letting the gravity bleed. So
okay, good. Get ready to put cookies in the oven.
You're making cookies?
They're protein cookies, but they're cookies.
Okay. Go ahead and pump it. Put it to the floor.
Okay.
Go ahead and pump it. Put it to the floor. Pump it. Put it to the floor. Okay. That one looks good. I want to bring you with me so you can see. Okay. I use this little wrench right here. This works perfectly, especially on wheel cylinders. Go ahead and pump it. I tell her to pump it. And then, I got the dust cover on it. Took the little dust cover off. I put it to the floor.
Okay.
Now what I'm looking for is, I want to see any air bubbles coming out. She's gonna hold it to the floor, and then oh yeah, hear that? All right, pump it. I wish you could see better. All right, pump it. That was a big air bubble.
Yeah.
Feel different?
Yep.
All right, hold it to the floor.
Okay.
All right, I didn't really see any of that one.
Yeah, there's not like
Pump it. Hold to the floor.
Okay.
Looks pretty good. All right, pump it. All right, let's check the other side. Hold it to the floor. That was a good one. Pump it. Hold it to the floor. Looks good. Pump it. How's it feel?
Good.
All right, I think we're done. All right, now that I'm pretty sure the brakes are bled, that was really easy. That's probably the easiest car ever. This thing went together pretty simple. So I'm confident I got brakes. So I hosed down some water, get that brake fluid off of everything because it'll eat the paint. Anything that's painted is gonna eat it. So now I'm gonna top off the fluid and I need to take out my plug here and put this guy back on. And then maybe we'll test drive it. I don't know. So let's see here. This car's been sitting for probably 20 years at least. Half the wiring harness is missing. The steering box, I pulled it out of the shed and just stuck it on there. The transmission I got for 250 bucks from my buddy Casey, who said the guy he got it from said it ran. Sure. The torque converter I got off a marketplace. The guy said it was too big for his car, so I figured I'd buy it. The rear end I got from Jim Hughes, the owner of Tucson Dragway. Had the guys rebuild it, stick it in. Untested. The brakes, I don't know if they work. So
They feel fine. They feel fine.
the alignment is terrible. The front end, the wheels are sitting like this. So there's no front end alignment whatsoever. Seems like the best thing to do would be to jump in it and take it around the block. There's no way we're gonna find out if any of this stuff is gonna work or not. So,
We gotta figure out where to put the seats when they come in.
oh yeah, there's no seats. So, why not? So, this car legitimately hasn't moved under its own power at all. So, I'm a little scared. foot slipped. I hit the gas right about here, and I'm sitting on the blanket, and the blanket slid. So I couldn't hold the gas pedal. So anyway, it looks like I got running lights. That's good. License plate lights. That's good. I don't have anything hooked up in the front. I don't have anything hooked up to the steering column yet, so I don't think I'm gonna have turn signals or anything else yet. But the light on the shifter lights up. That's good. So it moved under its own power. It even steered and stopped. It's crazy. It had power brakes. It had power steering. The battery's a little weak because it's been sitting. The battery, I stole the battery out of her Nova, and it's been sitting. So the battery's a little weak. I'll throw the trickle charger on it. But some of the lights worked.
The posi worked.
The posi worked. It's important. It's important. What else? Yeah. It's almost a car.
Almost,
So,
it is. It's like 95%.
it needs seats because I slid backwards as soon as I hit the gas.
Because you're on a blanket.
So
It's like Aladdin's magic carpet ride.
sitting on a blanket. Hindsight, the blanket was a bad idea. So, but everything else I'm happy with. I think it's going to be all right. I'd like to take it to my buddy Jason's shop, get the front end alignment done. Maybe this week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And that's exhaust shop. I mean, we're getting down there. Like it's almost time. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I really, if you could hit that like, subscribe, comment, any of that stuff. I really like hearing from you. I really appreciate it. We really the editing department appreciates it.
Yes. I'm going to go get the cookies out of the oven.
She's making cookies. So, I mean, she cooks, she cleans, she pumps the brake pedal, and she edits videos. I mean, what else could I ask for?
See?
So,
Spoiled.
anyways, Happy New Year all, and thanks for watching.
See you next time.